Welcome. This is a short 12 minutes introduction to empathy in digital tourism encountering. My name is Päivi Hanivara and I work at the Lapland University of Applied Sciences. Okay, let's go. First, I have a question for you. Have you ever felt ignored or frustrated when you are seeking information online, for example, trying to find a lovely leisure travel journey for a long-anticipated holiday? Well, the frustration or ignorance may be the feeling when you are trying to connect with a human in online customer service to ask a sensitive question. Let's imagine that your need for communication is ignored and you cannot reach anyone but a chatbot. The chatbot is trying to answer your question, but says in the end, "Sorry, I cannot help you. I will connect you to a human." As a result, this customer journey sounds somewhat empathized. Doesn't it? In the worst case, the chatbot may give you the contact information of the human or, moreover, doesn't share any information with you. Would you continue online shopping with a company that serves you this badly? Empathy is not an emotion, but rather a reaction to another person's or agent's experience or emotion. An empathetic person is reacting and trying to assimilate the other person's internal state, like live alongside the other and trying to reach his/her emotional level. At the same, the empathetic person is trying to assimilate what the other is thinking, feeling, and experiencing. The ability to empathize is based on one's own background, like the environment where one has been living, how one has learned to meet people, how one is capable of social interaction, and so on. When thinking about digital encountering, empathy is especially present when, for example, the customer can use multiple senses, experience, and empathize with the service, instead of pure imagination. Empathy is an apparent part of digital communication as it presents sensitive content like emotions in digital interaction. What is empathy in digital encountering? Well, simplified, empathy is about sharing experiences and emotions with each other and reacting to these shared contents and empathizing with the other. That one is trying to live along and follow with the other's emotions and experiences. Well, empathy shows and most of all should be present in, for example, in service interfaces, like in the digital touchpoints where the humans and the non-humans meet. In addition, empathy is present in the service moments that are the actual encountering moments for the agents in online encountering. Actually, empathetic digital service encountering is a multidimensional phenomenon activating and provided by multiple agents like humans and non-humans. Here, the non-humans are technological servants, for example, the social robots that are called chatbots. On the other hand, artificial intelligence technologies like augmented reality and virtual reality mediate and provide experiences. When using augmented or virtual reality, the customer is immersing in the service by using multiple senses that strengthen the experience. At this point, it is relevant to recognize that immersive technologies empathize with the customer as they deepen the understanding and create value for the total service. Just to compare, how would the level of experience be when the same service is provided by reading texts and hearing introductions? The approaches to empathy are several. In this presentation, I apply 3 dimensions of empathy to practices. These dimensions are cognitive, affective, and dark side empathy. In cognitive empathy, one has the capacity and ability in taking the perspective of the other. Practically, this means that the tourism service provider is walking the digital customer journey in the customer's shoes by observing and evaluating the experience with the customer. At the same, the service provider observes and evaluates customers' actions and reactions. The key is in understanding and perceiving the mental state and understand what the customer is thinking, feeling, and experiencing. Affective empathy has another name as well, namely emotional empathy. Reflected its name, in emotional empathy the agents are sharing emotions with each other. Emotional empathy is needed in digital service encountering when willing to interact socially and form relationships. One could reflect this in a situation where old friends are sharing emotions and empathizing with each other. As a matter of fact, the key to emotional empathy is in sharing emotions equally and relating with the other person's emotions. These shared moments emphasize an unreserved and open atmosphere. When reflecting effective empathy to tourism business, it is present especially in the long-term relationships where the base of relation is built on several contacts and trust that is formed within a long time period. Well, does empathy have a dark side or negative side? Actually, yes it does. The dark side empathy takes place when someone is morally misusing his/her capability of cognitive empathy for self-interest purposes. For example, in digital encountering, when the customer is not pleased with the service or product, he/she may inquire the service provider to break the rules or regulations to get compensation from the company. Actually, dark side empathy requires cognitive empathy capabilities. These persons can take the perspective of the other, and with less morality, they demand the other to fulfill their needs. Another perspective for the dark side empathy is a heavily empathetic customer servant. Namely, being strongly empathetic is stressful, makes one tired, and in the end even cynical. As these both dark side empathy examples show, it is important that the tourism service providers define the rules and especially the practices for empathized digital encountering. To finalize my presentation, I give you an argument if a social robot can use cognitive empathy in serving customers. When pondering further, it is true that we humans are the ones to program the technological servants, like the chatbots. When customers are more and more willing to have personalized and frictionless customer journeys, could the chatbots provide digital encountering with cognitive empathy abilities? In this case, the demand for precise customer insight, profiling, and naming of customer personas is valued. In the end, with the help of artificial intelligence, the tourism sector has the possibility to adapt empathy to digital encountering, which means that automation and the use of various technologies are more included in the online service. All in all, the most relevant element cannot be forgotten as the digital encounter is executed to serve the humans. Let us not forget this. This slide presents the collection of the sources that I have used for this presentation. Now it is time for me to thank you for joining in this empathy and digital tourism encountering presentation. It has been a pleasure, and I hope you were inspired by the content. Thank you and take care. This video was made with screen recording and editing using Screencast-O-Matic. Narration with text-to-speech by Natural Reader.